Welcome to NYNJPA Weather, your severe weather source for the northern mid-Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. We'll start this morning with the visible satellite picture, which shows a strong upper-level low developing over New England and a series of low-pressure systems along the immediate coast and our high-pressure system over the Great Lakes. So what can we look for today? Well, unfortunately, our upper-level low is going to continue to keep our region rather unsettled because disturbances setting up over the eastern Great Lakes will continue to rotate to the southeast through the New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan area. Unfortunately, that means a few isolated showers will be possible. However, the good news is that with high pressure slowly building in over the next 48 hours, drier air will be coming in as well. That's why all the clouds are dissipating over the Great Lakes. So we'll deal with a few isolated showers, but high pressure is slowly going to gain control as this upper level low over Maine slowly moves to the east. We're going to have to get used to this type of pattern for the next 10 to 15 days with upper level lows creating some havoc with the forecast. And of course that means that the pattern will slowly change. If it's raining over you now, it likely will do so for several days because the upper level pattern just isn't changing all that much. The good news, though, is that the rain is leaving for the New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan area. This is the GFS forecast at 500 millibars from the Penn State EWOL website for Wednesday afternoon. And first thing I want to point out is that our upper level low that is sitting over Maine this morning only creeps a little bit to the east over the 3-day span from today through Wednesday off of the Maine coast. And that kind of gives you an illustration of just how slow moving this pattern is. The good news, though, is that we're on the west side of this upper level low. Remember when I said that if you're being influenced or impacted by rain right now, you're likely to see that for the next several days. But the rain is leaving for the northern Atlantic. What I mean by that is that because we're on the western side of this upper level low, we are going to be influenced by a polar air mass sitting over Canada that is relatively dry and cool. Now, we're still going to have to deal with a few isolated showers because some of these disturbances over New England will be diving south, and that's especially the case over Connecticut, Long Island, and the immediate New Jersey coast. That's basically because we're dealing with the Atlantic Ocean. However, just away from the coast, high pressure will have more strength, and so therefore what we can expect is scattered clouds and a dry forecast for the most part for much of this week. However, the problem lies with the temperatures. If you're looking to go to the beach, not the best week to do that because temperatures are going to be in the 60s and 70s. We will have a gradual moderation. However, tomorrow is going to be very cool with highs in the mid 60s over parts of Connecticut and Long Island and lower 70s over parts of the Philadelphia metropolitan area. Not exactly summertime weather, more spring-like for sure. However, we're going to keep an eye on a disturbance over the upper Midwest. This disturbance the models are not handling very carefully, very well, because our polar jet stream is focused well off into Canada. We have a ridge starting to build over the Great Lakes, but this upper level disturbance starts to get cut off. Now, some of the models are causing this upper level disturbance to become an upper level low, and as a result, it sets up a low pressure system sitting and spinning around the Ohio River Valley, and that draws a lot of Atlantic moisture into the northern Atlantic. Some of the models push the disturbance further south with barely any impact whatsoever on the northern mid-Atlantic. And of course we have the European model guidance that takes this disturbance and moves it into the St. Lawrence River Valley, remains rather weak but still produces a lot of scattered showers. There is still a lot of uncertainty on where this upper level disturbance ends up and just how strong it is. When we look at the next forecast model on Friday afternoon, you can see that the GFS wants to keep an upper level low over the Ohio River Valley. The question here is just how much moisture is this low pressure system able to pull off the Atlantic? Now, first thing that we have to really break down here is this upper level disturbance really going to be that strong under this influence of an upper level ridge? It's a potential that we're going to have to keep an eye on. The weaker this upper level disturbance really is, the less likely we'll see rain. The other aspect here is that over New England, we have a northwesterly convergent flow, which basically means a high pressure support at the surface. So if you have high pressure over southern New England, and you have a low pressure system over the Ohio River Valley, that usually puts the northern mid-Atlantic in a zone of very dry sinking air, and that usually prevents rainfall from approaching. It also produces a northwesterly wind at the upper levels that transports a lot of dry air. So we're going to have to see just how far north this rain gets, if it actually develops, and just how strong this upper level disturbance is. So clearly there's a lot of questions to the forecast for late this week into the first part of this weekend. However, if you are like many people who have sent me emails saying, when is the heat and humidity coming back? Because you like to spend the whole week at the beach. I guess you're on vacation or something. Well, I have some good news. A new upper level ridge is expected to develop over the Mississippi River Valley up through the Great Lakes. Why is this good news for the northern mid-Atlantic? Well, this upper level ridge is eventually going to shift. So for Sunday, look for high pressure to be in control with clear skies and wonderful weather conditions. Humidity is low, temperatures in the 80s. So overall, a rather nice second half to the weekend. But the key here is that once this upper level ridge transitions to the East Coast, the heat and humidity will return. And I'm looking at the start of next week of that heat and humidity returning. So it should be interesting to keep an eye on that. We'll have to keep an eye on some developments going on in the Pacific and see whether that matches the potential for this ridge, which I think it will. So we're clearly looking at a rather unsettled and volatile weather pattern unfolding, because we have different aspects of the atmosphere interacting and at times conflicting with each other. So that's why the models aren't going to be that great, and also why we're going to have to keep on our toes with the potential for showers and also volatile temperature swings. Thank you for trusting NYNJPA Weather as your severe weather source for the northern mid-Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Have an excellent day.